There's someone who's departed from your life, yet remains etched onto your soul like a scar that won't heal, a melody that eternally echoes in the silent halls of your heart, and you wonder why you can't simply move on, why this person occupies such a profound space within you, a space that seems to have been carved before you were even born. Edgar Cayce, the visionary who accessed the Akashic records in a trance state, taught us that some people enter our lives carrying spiritual contracts that transcend linear time. When you can't forget someone who's gone, when their presence-absence becomes a constant in your existence, that's not weakness, it's not emotional dependency, it's the echo of one soul recognizing another with whom it shared journeys across centuries. Think about that strange feeling you had upon first meeting this person. It wasn't simply physical attraction or intellectual compatibility, it was something deeper, older, as if you were looking into the mirror of your own essence. Cayce revealed that when two souls meet after several incarnations, there's an instant recognition that surpasses any logical explanation. It's the cellular memory of the soul awakening, whispering, "I know you from long before this life." Perhaps you experienced moments with this person where time seemed suspended, where you communicated without words, where a single glance carried the weight of 1,000 conversations. This happens because ancient souls recognize each other through a language that doesn't need to be learned, it's already engraved in the deepest codes of our being. Cayce called these soul records, memories that survive the death of the body and manifest through synchronicities, déjà vus, and inexplicable connections. When this person decided to leave, whether by choice, external circumstances, or even physical death, you felt as if a part of yourself had been ripped away, and you weren't wrong in that perception. According to Cayce's teachings, some souls make pacts before incarnating, spiritual agreements to meet at certain points in their earthly journey, to help each other evolve, to heal old karmic wounds, or simply to experience love in its purest form. But herein lies one of the greatest mysteries of human existence. Not all spiritual contracts are meant to last a lifetime in this specific incarnation. Some souls come to teach us specific lessons, to awaken us to aspects of ourselves that remain dormant, to help us heal ancestral patterns we carried from other lives. And when that mission is complete, they need to depart, not for lack of love, but because true love sometimes demands the courage to let go. Observe the signs the universe shows you about this connection. Have you noticed how certain songs seem to have been written specifically to describe what you experienced? How specific numbers repeatedly appear when you think of this person? How you find objects, places, or people that remind you of them almost magically? Cayce taught us that the universe conspires to show us the truth through these subtle symbols. They're not coincidences, they're messages from a higher intelligence reminding us that certain connections transcend the physical world. Perhaps you have recurring dreams about this person, dreams so vivid that you wake up questioning whether they actually happened. From Cayce's perspective, dreams are windows to dimensions where our souls continue to interact, where true love never truly ends, it only changes form. During sleep, when our conscious mind relaxes its defenses, our souls can meet on the astral planes, continuing conversations that were interrupted in the physical world. The pain of not being able to forget someone who has left often carries a karmic dimension. Cayce frequently spoke about relationships where we carry guilt, resentment, or unresolved love from past lives. Perhaps in a previous life, you were the one who left, leaving this soul suffering. Or perhaps you experienced an impossible love, separated by social, family, or religious circumstances, and now your souls seek healing from that old wound. That's why forgetting doesn't come easily. It's not just a matter of time or willpower. It's a matter of recognizing the spiritual purpose of this connection and finding a way to honor it without clinging to it in a way that prevents your growth. Cayce taught us that true love liberates. It doesn't imprison. When you love someone spiritually, you want the best for that soul, even if that means accepting physical separation. But how do you find peace when every fiber of your being cries out for this presence? How do you transform longing into gratitude, lack into fullness? The answer lies in understanding that you haven't lost this person, you carry them forever in the sacred library of your soul. Every shared moment, every exchange of energy, every word of love exchanged is eternally engraved in the Akashic records of your existence. The first step toward healing is to stop resisting the pain and begin to dialogue with it. Sit in silence, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to feel the longing without judgment. Recognize that this pain is sacred, that it exists because something very special was experienced. It's not pathology, it's spirituality in its rawest form. Cayce always said that unhealed emotional pain transforms into physical illness, so it's crucial to honor your feelings as messengers of the soul. Start to see this person not as someone you lost, but as a gift the universe gave you for a specific time. Every soul that crosses our path in a meaningful way leaves energetic imprints that transform us forever. You are no longer the same person you were before this encounter. You have evolved, expanded, learned dimensions of love that you may not have known before. This is an eternal gain, not a temporary loss. Practice active gratitude for everything you experience together. Create a personal ritual where you thank, aloud, or in your thoughts, for each precious memory, each moment of connection, each lesson this relationship gave you. Cayce believed that gratitude is one of the highest vibrational frequencies capable of transmuting pain into wisdom, lack into abundance. And if you allow yourself to believe, as Cayce taught us, that death is merely a transition and that true love is eternal, then this separation is only an intermission in the infinite symphony of your connection with this soul. In other dimensions, in other lives, you will continue to meet, learn, love, and grow together. This life is just one chapter of a much larger story. Let me share with you something profound that Cayce revealed in one of his most touching readings on soulmates. There are people who choose to incarnate specifically to help us heal wounds we've carried for millennia. They agree to come, to love deeply, and then to depart, knowing that their absence will force our spiritual growth in a way that their constant presence could not. It's a sacrifice of love, an act of cosmic compassion that few can fully comprehend. When you understand this perspective, the departure of this person takes on a completely different meaning. It wasn't abandonment, it wasn't a lack of love, it wasn't your fault or theirs. It was the fulfillment of a sacred contract, a spiritual mission successfully completed. The pain you feel now is the sign that transformation is happening, that you are integrating the lessons this soul came to teach you. If you've come this far in this reflection, if these words are resonating in your soul as truths you already sensed but couldn't articulate, then you are ready for the next phase of your healing journey. You are part of a special community of old souls who recognize love beyond time and space. And if you want to continue receiving these spiritual revelations that can transform your way of seeing life and relationships, subscribe to this channel now and turn on the notification bell. It's not just about watching videos, it's about connecting with other seekers of spiritual truth, people who, like you, know that there's much more to this existence than meets the eye. By subscribing, you are declaring to the universe that you are ready to receive more revelations about the mysteries of the soul, about the purpose of relationships, and about how to heal old wounds that prevent your full happiness. Do this now, because your soul is calling for this transformation. Returning to our journey of understanding, I want you to observe something very specific. In the most intense moments of your longing, when the absence of this person seems unbearable, pay attention to what is happening in your life. Often, it is in these very moments that you receive important insights about yourself, that you make courageous decisions, that you connect with your spirituality more deeply. Cayce taught us that the soul grows through pressure, just as diamonds are formed in the Earth's core under extreme heat and pressure. The longing you feel is, in fact, your soul expanding to accommodate a new understanding of love. It's you learning to love beyond physical presence, beyond immediate reciprocity, beyond human expectations. It's you discovering that you are capable of a kind of love that most people don't even imagine exists, the unconditional love that doesn't depend on possession, control, or guarantees of permanence. And there's something even deeper sometimes. Our inability to forget someone who has passed is a call from our own soul to reconnect with ourselves. During the time we spent focused on that person, we may have lost sight of ourselves, projected our completeness onto the other, forgotten to cultivate our own divine essence. The absence of this person forces us to return home, the inner home, where our true identity resides. Cayce frequently spoke about the concept that we are co-creators with God of our life experiences. This means that on some higher level of consciousness, you chose to live this experience of love and loss because it would serve your spiritual growth. You are not a victim of random circumstances. You are a powerful being, experiencing exactly what you need to evolve. When you can accept this perspective, something magical happens. You stop fighting reality and start working with it. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is this experience trying to teach me? You stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start trusting the divine process unfolding in your life. This doesn't mean you should suppress your feelings or pretend you don't miss this person. It means you can feel all of this while maintaining a broader perspective on the purpose of it all. You can mourn the physical absence while celebrating the eternal spiritual presence. You can feel longing while feeling gratitude. You can be sad about the separation while being at peace with the divine plan. Cayce taught us that we are multidimensional beings, temporarily living a three-dimensional experience. Our true nature is far vaster than our current personality. When you connect with this expanded perspective, you realize that the person you can't forget is also a multidimensional being, and that you are connected on levels that completely transcend this physical reality. On the higher planes of consciousness, where there are no limitations of time, space, or matter, you never separated. The connection remains vibrant and alive. Love continues to flow freely between your souls. Communication continues through dreams, synchronicities, intuitions, and moments of deep inner peace, where you simply know that everything is all right, that this person is all right, and that you are still united in ways that the human mind cannot fully comprehend. That's why meditation becomes so important in this healing process. When you quiet the mind and enter deeper states of consciousness, you can access those dimensions where separation is merely an illusion. Many people report profound experiences of connection with loved ones who have passed during deep meditation, lucid dreaming, or expanded states of awareness. Cayce always recommended prayer and meditation as fundamental tools for accessing higher wisdom. He said that when we pray, we speak to God, and when we meditate, God speaks to us. During these moments of spiritual communion, you may receive insights into the purpose of this relationship in your life, messages of love and encouragement, and even guidance on how to move forward while keeping this person honored in your heart. A very powerful practice is creating a sacred space at home where you can spiritually connect with this person who has passed. It's not about creating an altar or ritualizing grief. It's about establishing a focal point where you can transform pain into love, absence into spiritual presence, separation into union, through prayer and loving intention. In this space, you can talk to this person as if they were present, because according to Cayce's teachings on the continuity of consciousness, they truly are present, just on a different frequency from dense matter. You can express everything you wish you had said, thank them for everything you experienced together, ask for forgiveness if there's anything unresolved, and most importantly, send unconditional love across dimensions. You may be surprised by the feeling of peace that comes from these practices. Many people report feeling a loving presence during these moments, receiving insights or inspiration that clearly didn't come from the conscious mind, or simply experiencing a deep sense that all is well, that love continues, that separation is temporary. And here we arrive at a crucial point, the transformation of the quality of your love. When you love someone in the physical dimension, it's natural for that love to be accompanied by desires, expectations, fears of loss, a need for reciprocity. But when you're forced to love someone who is no longer physically present, your love undergoes a purification. It becomes more like divine love, unconditional, detached, eternal. This is one of the greatest gifts such an experience can give you, the opportunity to discover your capacity to love divinely, not just humanly. You discover that you can love deeply without possessing, intensely without clinging, eternally without guarantees. This is a spiritual evolution that many souls take several lifetimes to achieve. Cayce frequently reminded us that we are all one in universal consciousness. The separation we experience here on Earth is an illusion necessary for certain growth experiences, but our true nature is unity. When you can access this perspective of unity, you realize that you never truly lose anyone because we are all manifestations of the same divine source. This doesn't diminish the uniqueness or specialness of the person you can't forget. On the contrary, you begin to see them as a unique and precious expression of divinity, just as you are. And this perspective allows you to maintain love and gratitude for this specific expression of divinity, without the despair of wanting to possess or control them. Gradually, you begin to notice subtle changes in the quality of your grief. It becomes less desperate and more contemplative, less focused on what you've lost, and more grateful for what you gained, less worried about the uncertain future, and more present with sacred memories, less resistant to reality, and more trusting in the divine process. And then something very beautiful begins to happen. You begin to realize how this experience of love and loss has made you more compassionate toward others going through similar situations. Your capacity for empathy has expanded. Your understanding of the complex nature of human relationships has deepened. Your faith in the continuity of love beyond death has strengthened. You become a natural healer for other wounded hearts, even if you don't consciously realize it. Your presence carries a special quality of understanding that can only be developed through direct experience with the sacred pain of love. People feel naturally drawn to share their own experiences of loss with you because they intuitively sense that you understand. This is one way our personal pain transforms into divine service. Cayce always emphasized that all experiences, even the most difficult, have the potential to make us instruments of healing and love for others. Our wound becomes our source of wisdom, our vulnerability becomes our strength, our personal experience becomes our gift to humanity, and there's something even deeper. As you consciously and spiritually heal this pain, you not only release patterns for yourself, but also for entire lineages, past and future. According to Cayce, when we consciously heal karmic patterns, it affects not only our individual soul, but the entire chain of consciousness of which we are a part. This means that your journey of transforming the pain of separation into spiritual wisdom benefits not only you, but potentially generations of souls who are energetically connected to you. It's a healing work that completely transcends your personal experience and becomes a cosmic service. That's why it's so important that you fully embrace this process, without rushing to get over it or forget, but with the intention to transform and integrate. Every tear you consciously cry, every moment of grief you allow yourself to feel without resistance, every act of forgiveness and gratitude you practice is contributing to the collective healing of humanity. And when you can see your personal experience from this broader perspective, something fundamental changes in your relationship with pain. It ceases to be something you want to avoid and becomes something you are willing to honor as a sacred part of your spiritual journey. This doesn't mean you'll actively seek out pain or cling to it. It means you stop fighting it when it arises naturally and begin working with it as an ally in your spiritual evolution. You discover you can feel pain and joy simultaneously, longing and gratitude, sadness and peace. Cayce taught us that spiritual mastery isn't about avoiding difficult experiences, but consciously transforming them into wisdom and compassion. And you're now practicing precisely that mastery. You're learning the spiritual alchemy of transforming emotional lead into spiritual gold. And here's one of the most beautiful revelations about not being able to forget someone who's passed. It's actually a demonstration of your soul's eternal nature. If you were merely a physical body with a temporary mind, it would be relatively easy to forget and move on. But you are an eternal soul, temporarily inhabiting a physical form, and souls have memories that transcend time and space. Your inability to forget is proof of your divine nature. It's evidence that you are far more than you appear to be. It's confirmation that true love doesn't really die, that certain connections truly transcend dimensions, that you truly are a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around. And when you fully embrace this perspective, something miraculous happens. You stop seeing your situation as a problem to be solved and begin seeing it as a privilege to be honored. You stop considering yourself a victim of difficult circumstances and begin recognizing yourself as an advanced spiritual being experiencing intense experiences because your soul is ready for profound lessons. Few people on earth have the opportunity to experience the kind of love that leaves eternal marks on the soul. Many people live superficial relationships, connections based on convenience or social compatibility, partnerships that function well on a practical level but don't touch the spiritual depths of being. You had or still have, in non-physical dimensions, something far rarer and more precious. You experience the kind of love that poets spend their lives trying to capture in words, that mystics describe as a reflection of divine love, that souls seek across multiple lifetimes. Yes, this kind of love comes with a proportional intensity of pain when physical separation occurs, but this pain is sacred, not pathological. It's the price we pay for having touched the infinite through another human being. It's what happens when a soul accustomed to eternity has to deal with the temporary limitations of physical existence. And when you truly understand this, you stop fighting the pain and begin honoring it as evidence of something sacred that was lived. You stop trying to accelerate the healing process and begin allowing it to unfold at its own divine pace. You stop comparing yourself to people who got over losses quickly and begin recognizing that different kinds of love require different integration processes. The healing time for a soul-level love isn't measured in human months or years, but in cycles of spiritual growth, and each person has their own unique pace of processing and transformation. There's no right timeline, no standard formula, no valid comparison to another person's experience. Your journey is unique because your soul is unique, because that specific connection is unique, because the lessons you need to learn through this experience are exclusively yours. And that's something to be celebrated, not judged. As you integrate all these perspectives, you'll begin to notice subtle yet profound changes in your daily experience. The longing remains present, but it loses its desperate character and takes on a more meditative, more contemplative quality. You can think of this person with a nostalgic smile instead of only tears of pain. You begin to feel genuinely grateful for the experience of having known this kind of love, even if it ended in a way you didn't choose. You recognize that many people spend their entire lives without ever experiencing the depth of connection you shared. And something even more beautiful, you begin to realize how this experience has permanently expanded your capacity to love. You discover you can love other people, friends, family, future partners, in a deeper and more authentic way, because you've learned dimensions of love you didn't know before. This doesn't mean replacing or forgetting this special love. It means allowing it to become a source of wisdom and compassion that enriches all your other relationships. It means honoring what this person awakened in you, allowing that expansion of your heart to benefit others in your life. Cayce always said that love multiplies when shared. It never diminishes. The love you feel for this person who has passed doesn't need to be kept in a locked box in your heart. It can be transformed into a greater source of love for the whole world. And so, your personal experience of love and loss becomes a gift to humanity. Your journey of transforming pain into wisdom becomes a contribution to the collective evolution of human consciousness. Your expanded capacity to love becomes a blessing for everyone who crosses your path. This is true spiritual alchemy, transforming the most challenging experiences into sources of light and love for the world. This is how old souls operate. They use their personal experiences as fuel to serve the greater good. And now, after this entire journey of understanding and transformation, you can finally answer that question that started our conversation. Why can't you forget the one who's gone? Because some souls leave eternal imprints, because certain loves transcend time and space, because you are a spiritual being capable of connections that survive physical death, because this experience is part of your spiritual evolution, because forgetting would in fact be a betrayal of the sacredness of what you shared. You can't forget because you shouldn't forget. You must integrate, transform, honor, and appreciate, but not forget, because this memory, consciously processed, is one of your greatest spiritual riches, and when you fully embrace this perspective, something beautiful happens. You stop wanting to forget. You want to remember with gratitude instead of remembering with pain. You want to honor this connection instead of trying to erase it. You want to allow it to be a source of wisdom instead of a source of suffering. And so, you discover that true healing wasn't in forgetting, but in transforming the quality of the memory, in changing not what you feel, but how you relate to what you feel, in converting not the love itself, but how you express and live it, because true love, the kind that leaves eternal marks on the soul, was never meant to be forgotten. It was meant to be celebrated, honored, integrated, and transformed into wisdom that illuminates the rest of your journey on this earth and beyond. And you, who have reached the end of this reflection, who have recognized your own experience mirrored in these words, who have felt your soul resonate with these ancient truths, you are ready for this transformation. You are ready to honor what you cannot forget and transform it into the light that will illuminate not only your path, but the path of everyone blessed to cross your loving presence in this world. So tell me, after everything we've talked about, after all these revelations about the eternal nature of true love, do you still want to simply forget, or are you ready to transform this sacred memory into the source of wisdom and compassion your soul always knew it could become?